Hi, welcome to the MotherLoad Morsel. I'm Ann Brown.
And I'm Amy Stober. And today we're going to talk about holidays. And we're going to try to have a quick MotherLoad morsel about 4 important points we want you to take home during the holidays.
The first one, we want to talk about traditions. And if you have, either through religion or culture, rich traditions that you do on holidays, you don't have to worry about it. You've already got it. It's set in, the family does it, everybody knows it. I think that for many Americans, it's really hard to know what traditions to do and which ones work. I think what Amy and I want to say as the overarching idea is children need tradition.
Absolutely.
They need to know that something happens at a certain time. And if you're not comfortable with religion, it doesn't have to be a religious tradition.
It could be what you have for breakfast.
That's right. And at the holiday time, it could be that you take a walk and collect leaves or whatever, or you bake cookies for the neighbors. I see people so often who say, well, we're not really religious. We don't really go to church. I don't really know what to do at Christmas other than give gifts. And that's where you need to really do a little bit of thinking, do your homework and say, what's important and what kind of a tradition can I begin with my kids? And it has to be realistic, something that you'll do.
Great. So if you don't have them, make them.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Come to us for ideas.
The second thing is expectations. Often during the holidays, you have family coming in from out of town.
Yeah.
You have all of these rich traditions that, you know, your husband may have ideas that are different than yours. Talk about your expectations. Talk about what you want to get from that particular holiday, how you think it should go, what you need in terms of downtime, engaged time, visiting family time or not. I think the more you talk about expectations with your partner, with your other family members, the more successful your holiday will be.
It takes some planning, not of activity to activity, but planning on knowing, you know, our kids kind of fall apart at 3 o'clock. So if we're going to be staying at the cousin's house, let's have something ready to do. Not just presuming it's going to look like a Currier and Ives Christmas card and it's all going to work. It's probably going to look more like Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. And so you know, we love spontaneity around the holidays, but when you have kids, it can really lead to lowered expectations that don't come true.
And so that's why I think first 1 and 2 are really important. Kids need to know what to predict and how to depend on things. That's the traditions. And then if they know what to expect, they're less likely to have big meltdowns.
Right. The third thing is, the question we get a lot is in mixed marriages. If you and your partner celebrate different holidays or different religions, and I think that, you know, it's something that before you have kids, you say, we'll figure it out. And then all of a sudden, even the first holiday season, you're cool about it. But the second holiday season, when your child is 2.5, you're like, uh-oh, they're really going to remember this. And so many times in a marriage, that's when you didn't even realize you cared that much. But it triggers whatever feelings you had about your own growing up. And then you want it for your kids, but you had already said to your partner, no, we're not going to do that. It's really important that kids know that they are something, that they come from something. Doesn't have to be a religion, but it has to be a belief system. And I think that in general, which is probably the most common in the United States, is if one parent celebrates Christmas and the other parent either doesn't celebrate Christmas, not because they're another religion, but they just don't celebrate it, or they celebrate another holiday, whether it's Hanukkah or Kwanzaa, whatever. I think we need to not be afraid to have both in the home. That gives kids a sense of identity. And it's the parents' uncomfortability with the other that makes, that they say, you know what, let's just not do it. Let's just go away during Christmas and not even say anything about it. But kids need to know, how do we work this through? How do we work it through when people are different? And what a great time to tell them.
What a great model, too, later on for them having lots of receptivity to lots of other ideas and lots of ways that people celebrate holidays, their future roommates and partners and friends. So
yeah, and you know, I know a lot of people who celebrate Hanukkah and are married, who are Jewish and married to someone who celebrates Christmas, say, well, how can I have a Christmas tree in my house? It just doesn't feel right. And my answer to that is, but your children's parent celebrates Christmas. Why would you not have it in your house? And you say, this is what I celebrate. This is what, you know, mom or dad celebrate. And you show as a model, it's not competitive and we're not uncomfortable about it.
Last thing is consumerism. And I'm not even really sure how much we need to talk about, how much we need to say about this.
Right.
Because
No one's going to argue for it.
Right. We probably each have our own, value systems, as does everybody else. But know that it's there over the holidays, and that there's these huge pushes to buy lots of things and give what I would call gratuitous gifts to other people.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to acknowledge what is our value system as a family, and talk about that with your partner.
Right.
Talk about that with your kids. Really, what do I want my kids to know about, at our house, we celebrate Christmas. What do I really want them to know about Christmas? What do I want them to take from this versus, it's just this big grab bag day of a bunch of things that are coming at us. I think when you overgift a child, in my opinion, then it becomes a little meaningless.
It does. I think that it's also really important to validate when the kids get into, I want this, I want that, when you see all of the advertisements, to validate, say, well, yeah, we all want a lot of stuff, but that's not what we need. And that can happen at the holidays too, that we can't shame kids for looking at the aisle in Toys R Us and saying, I want everything.
I want everything.
And yet we feel like that's the time to say, well, no, to say, well, yeah, it's normal to look at it and want it, but we have to think also about what we're going to do.
Great.
Thank you for joining us. Happy holidays to you guys.
Happy holidays.
From the MotherLoad. Don't parent like
my co-host.
co-host.